Hey y'all, Hot Rod here. So I want to do a video about these white walls called portawalls. I want to share a little experience with you that I had. Recently I needed tires installed on my mag wheels and my aluminum rims, and I had white wall portawalls on them. And they're a little bit new to me. I installed them the first time myself without a whole lot of problems. But when I took them to the tire shop, I just thought, well, while they got them broke down, it seems easier if they put them on. And I was hesitant because I thought, I don't know that they're going to be educated enough to know how. And I was right. So they worked with them and worked with them. I tried to tell them how to put them on. They took 3 times longer than normal. And then when they got done with them, they still didn't fit on it properly. And I had to take them home and work them down in there. So after I got them on got them installed properly, probably about 2 months later, I started noticing a lot of brownish on my white walls. And I was like, where's this coming from? I have read and heard that they can absorb a little bit of brownish from the tire rubber on the edge, but it's not much, so I understand. I don't know. I'm still learning. So anyway, but this was much more than around the edge. You could literally see the writing on the tire bleeding through and coming through and showing dark stains indicating on the front of the white wall. And it was all the way around, and you couldn't clean it off. It was through, like stained. It wasn't just on the surface. I started thinking, what's going on here? Thinking maybe it's just new tires. It's just the new rubber leaking through. When I had them installed before, they didn't do that, so I wasn't sure. And I decided to buy me some new ones, some new white walls, and put them on. So here's what I found out today, and here's what I suspect. Again, this video is not the gospel. It's just to share my story and what I suspect is the deal. So let me give you a picture here. So here is the mag wheel, and here is the staining that I'm talking about. And you can see where it's like numbers or something coming through there. And it's all over here. And I thought, what is going on with this right here? So I took it off. And I don't think it's the tire. Here's what I believe when I got it off. I told the guys installing the tires, uneducated, ignorant young guys who need a lesson in this. But not many people use these. So I can kind of understand a little bit. But I told them to put them on dry. Don't use any lubricant. Don't use any sealer. Nothing. Put them on dry because you're supposed to put them on dry. Okay. Well, when I took them off, here's what I found. Look at all this black on them. I'm pretty sure what they done was their typical way of installing tires. You know, when they put the tire up there and then they swab the inside of the bead and then they mount them on there. I'm pretty sure that's the glue, the sealer that they use to install normal tires. And this is why I would not recommend to use sealer at all on these portawalls, because that's what happens right there. So I learned a lesson. Just put them on myself. I can take them to a tire shop, have the tires mounted, bring them back home. For me, on these, it's pretty easy to break that one sidewall down. All you got to do is break it down and slide these in and then air them up. And I'll show you in just a minute the process that I found that works pretty good. And I have no problems with installing these. I learned this on a YouTube video, just like I'm going to share with you. But anyway, so all I'm saying is be very careful of who you let install these portawalls, because most people are not educated enough to install them. And by the way, for what it's worth, I've had no issues with mine as far as speed. I've read a lot of people talk about, they're not really made for high speed. I've had mine running 85 miles an hour on a regular basis down the parkways. No problems with them whatsoever. And I think it requires attention to detail. Plus, if you'll notice, mine aren't very wide, and the narrower than the better. So I want to get them in proportion to the tire size. So fortunately, I have a 17-inch tire here, so I don't have to have them very wide, and that helps them to lay flatter. The big 3 and 4-inch ones are a little bit harder than to lay flatter. But I've had no issues out of these with speed, coming off, anything. So I'll share with you how I install them here just shortly after I get this one right here peeled out and get the tire cleaned up, because as you can see on the back side, yep, look at there, all that goo, all that black goo rubber sealant shit. So I'll have to clean this off right here really good and scrub it down and get that off of there, because I can feel it's kind of a sticky feeling. And these were kind of stuck to the tire a little bit, which is normally not the case. So anyway, I'll be back just shortly with part 2. So here I've got it cleaned up, and I'll give you a little tip. If you're cleaning a wheel like that up, air it up a little bit so water doesn't leak down in there and you get water inside your tire that you cannot get out. So put a little bit of air in it. Don't seat the bead completely. Just put a little bit of air in it to hold maybe, 8 or 10 pounds of pressure, and then stop. Don't, so water doesn't get in there. Anyway, so we'll take this out, this core out. That's called a Schrader valve, by the way. Lay that over here on the way. And here is our new white rubber here. So get the tire broke down around here. There we go. Put this in there. And push it down in there, and you can see, well, I'm not saying you can, I hope you can, but I want this little ridge right here pretty much touching the rim of the edge of the rim. So that looks close enough. Close enough, okay. So now we will put some air in it. Find my air chuck here. And air it up. But you're not going to air it up all the way. You're just going to air it up a little some. And kind of watch it. You see how that's already puckering out. Well, that's what we don't want. So what I'll do is stop right there. You put my Schrader valve back in there for now. Put a little air in it. Not much. Not much. We'll work that down in there. Take your hand and you want to push that ridge. You can see that ridge is right there. You want to push it down in there. And I just find if I just work my hand like that, I could work it down in there and tuck it down. But you get the bead already aired close with a little bit of air, and you'll hold it. Yeah, you can tell when it gets up underneath of it there. And then over here, I still got to seat this up. So remember how that was puckered up? Well, watch now when I air it up, it'll probably go away. Because it's properly seated. You've got to get these seated, put them on dry. Yeah, see, it's already looking better there. Air it on up. And let this side right here is going to seat right here just a minute. And when it does, it'll pop out. Then that white, see how it popped out there? Well, that's how the tire guys left it, but that's what we don't want. So what you do is when it does that and it seats up, just stop. Take the core back out to let the air out of it. Take the pressure off the sidewall, and then we can tuck that back in there. The rest of that looks pretty good right there. Looks pretty good. It's laying tight to the tire. It looks good. I mean, sometimes they won't lay completely tight. I'm kind of getting lucky on these two that I've mounted, and they're laying tight. But as long as you make sure that you've got that massage down in there, and you work that bead right there. Let me pull this camera down and give you a visual I'm talking about. So you can see here, I want this white bead right here. I mean, I want it right up against the aluminum rim. And here it's a little under, but that's good because when it airs up, it'll probably push that out. The rest of it looks pretty good. I might over here looks great right here. That looks great. I might massage this part here down because it's a little bit puckered, but not much. But anyway, that's what we're going for. Let me put this back up here. Okay. And I got that massage in place there. Yeah. That looks good. That looks good. Now we'll put the Schrader valve back in it. Sometimes you have to let the air in and out of them 2 or 3 times to get them then to settle down. And that's about it. It's not a big deal. But the tire guys at the shop, they just were oblivious. I mean, I was almost laughable to watch them. My air compressor is getting kind of low here. See what kind of pressure we got in there. Not enough. Air compressor's getting low. I hate to fire it up and make a bunch of noise for you guys, but we're almost at 20 pounds. But I can already see that it looks really good all the way around. All the way. Just feel of it and see if that little ring feels recessed to the rim. Right here it's puckered a little bit, but it seems to be all right. I'm not going to complain about it. It's laying tight to the tire. So that's how you do it. And as you can see, it's laying tight to the tire all the way around. Right there. So, I'm really happy about that. It's laying tight to it all the way around. So people who bitch about these and complain about how they're junk and they don't fit right and they're all wrinkled up and they show pictures of their wrinkled up tire, to me, they're just showing me a picture of their freaking ignorance. Because most of the time, so far as I've experienced, they're not that big a deal, but you have to learn how to air them up. The secret is to air them up, let the air out, air them back up, let the air out, and massage them down in there. You know, it's not a big deal. Some people use a rubber hammer. I find my hands plenty good enough. Anyway, peace out, y'all. But that's how I do put on these portawalls, and these are 17-inch, by the way, on this 57 Chevy 9-passenger wagon here. Hot Rods Woodshed. Maybe I've helped you. I hope so. Peace out. Have a good day.